And we will be live right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cognizant Sapiens. Today is special guest David the Indian, and I am Christopher Shirer, the host. Today's episode is about evolution and people's reset. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself there, David?
Well, thanks, Christopher, and thanks for your audience for listening to this. Really happy to be here today, sharing whatever information I can offer with the topic, a grand topic of evolution. Human evolution is what we're talking about. We're not talking about like Darwin evolution of the survival of the species. We're talking just in general our conscious growth and our
Spiritual and
human,
conscious.
yeah, spiritually and conscious growth. And
Yes.
the people's reset is something that is going on, has been going on this past month in with the World Economic Forum. They're calling it the greater reset, and we're terming it the greater reset. And we're saying it's really the people's reset that we're going through, this shift, and that is the elevation of our consciousness. So, today we're just going to exchange a little bit of dialogue and see where we go with this conversation. Christopher, thank you for having me on the show. My name, yeah, my kind of a screen name is David the Indian, which has got a unique story behind it itself. I am an Indian. I grew up on an island in Rhode Island in the United States, and I've always been around the ocean and islands specifically. And
Me
so
too.
over the years, yeah, it's kind of a strange life that I've been able to live, and it's been such a blessing that I have the life that I have. It's amazing. Right now, I'm calling from and holding this interview from an island called Evolution Island in São Paulo, Brazil. So it's very fitting to talk about evolution, because here we are in a very small island. Just my wife and myself live here, and so the two of us take care of this place. It's a pretty relatively big island, actually, not a small island. It's about 1.5 miles by a mile in dimension, and 100 meters at the center. So it's an old volcano.
Oh, wow.
David the Indian is a story, actually, that Cryon. I don't know if you've ever heard, Christopher, Cryon. Have you heard of Cryon, the magnetic service?
Yeah, I've heard the name, but I didn't know much about it, to be honest.
Okay, Lee Carroll in San Diego has, for many years. Actually, Lee Carroll is the person that coined the term indigo children, about specially
That's what I am.
gifted.
I'm an indigo.
Yeah, I think I am too. There's many of us. An estimate of about 1.5 billion indigo children that are alive right now on Earth, and we are star seeds, and light workers. And so the story of that Cryon tells is called David the Indian, and it's about an Indian that lives on an island that is surrounded by fog. And to make a long story short, David ventures off into the fog and goes through the fog. The fog is symbolic of the unknown, and we all have that kind of fear in our life. So an island itself is a symbolic word for us. We are islands. We are islands in an ocean of consciousness. So the story of David the Indian is about this Indian named David that ventures off into the fog and ventures through the fog. I'm hearing a little bit of background noise there.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting in a vehicle for a second, and then we're going to another location, and then I'll be getting out of the vehicle again. So we can keep going. They're going to be quiet. They're not going to bother us.
Okay, no problem. And so the story of David the Indian is why people call me David the Indian.
Okay.
I also go by a word called my Indian name is We. A simple word, W-E, we. So people call me
Good.
we, and I also say we, and it's kind of confusing for some people because it's talking in the third person, but also the first person at the same time.
I'm on a live
And
feed right now, guys.
so some of my friends call me we, and you could
Okay,
call
cool.
me we also.
We,
And it's
my
kind of yeah.
my stepfather
We
named me Snake Boy was my my native name because I always came home with snakes and lizards in my coat pockets every time I came home from school.
wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, I
Yeah.
would lift over logs and grab snakes and lizards and everything and bring them home in my pockets for my mom. She'd get freaked out, and we had an aquarium. We put them all in, and they all had babies. The lizards had babies, and there were skinks lizards, and there was a lot of shit that was pretty cool, you know. Seeing the little
Yeah,
babies, they're
sounds
like
like.
this big, squirming around.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Washington State, up on I lived on
Okay.
Camano Island for a little while, and born in Mount Vernon. Um, Went to
Beautiful.
a small little town called Conway. I grew up in. Went to school there for 5 years, and then we moved out to the island, and then went to switched to a different school, fifth through ninth, and then from there we moved to Spokane, and over there I spent the rest of my high school days up in Chewelah, Washington.
And now are you said you were in Arizona, in Phoenix,
Yeah, I'm in Yuma.
in Yuma.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
southwest
Well,
corner of the state, basically about 20 miles away from the border.
there's quite a few snakes there also in the desert, no?
Yeah, there's quite a bit here. I haven't seen too
Yeah.
many, but the last 2 years we've been bumping into some more rattlesnakes, and I got a picture of one of them in a bucket that we'd caught one in a bucket. We put it in a bucket to keep it from biting us and all that. So we were doing some making some Arizona room stuff. It's like a covered area that blocks you from the heat and sun, and uh, usually have like an air conditioner in there or something, and keeps it nice and cooler than 120 degrees.
Wow. I know it gets hard. I was out in Phoenix one time. I traveled. I went to university out in California, so I went through Arizona to come back to the East Coast. It was hot. It was hot.
Oh,
And
nice.
and right now it's our summertime here in the southern hemisphere in Brazil. So today is it's a hot day
I bet. Like what, like
outside.
115
I
or
can't
so?
believe actually. Yeah.
Brazil, that's a
Yeah.
ways away. I've never had somebody on from Brazil before. I've had Australians, I've had English from England, and then I've had I think a few Europeans came on a couple of times, but um, I've never had South America. Excuse me.
Well, maybe this show is going to open up a new door and new avenues for you, hopefully, Christopher.
That's what I'm going for. I'm trying to cover a lot of, areas and walks of life and
Well,
like different creeds and all that kind of stuff. So, like, it's a time of healing right now, and we're supposed to be coming together and finding the things we have that are in common with each other, instead of dividing each other even more. I think it's an endless cycle of chaos that we're stuck in, and until the wise ones step forward and start guiding the ones that are lost to the paths to follow. They all go, one path goes there and one path goes somewhere else. It's all about, it's not what we do, it's how we treat others, and we need to
mhm.
start, showing each other the love of the love of Christ, I guess, is what I want to say. But there's a lot more to it than just showing love. It's like a mutuality and, um, unison and equality. nobody's more superior than the next, and we're all on an evolutionary path, like we talked about earlier. And um, a lot of that has to do with you know doing the right thing a lot, and making sure you got the right knowledge with enough wisdom to understand that knowledge, and then kind of apply it to ourselves. And that's like one of my biggest focuses is like the interior work, the shadow integration from the traumas we've been through to the betrayals and whatnot, and every types of you know different kinds of pains, and abuses, and that we all have to you know heal from, mend from, and still move forward and get the best out of this, and
Yeah. What we try to say to people, it's not really where you started. That's the real concern right now. As long as we end at the same point,
yeah,
so we can come together, because like you said, everyone has their own life journey. And so
right,
for us to kind of go in back in history is really, it's an interesting story, obviously, because everyone is unique and everyone has purpose and meaning in their life equally.
exactly.
Like you said, we're all equal. We all have a hero's journey and a hero's story to share. But really, the people's reset is what you had mentioned about the unity of us coming together and being able to kind of see through the veil of those differences, uh, so that we
Exactly.
can come and arrive at the same point. And that is evolution. That's the idea of our evolution, is that it's a forward progress. Evolution is not negative ever. We don't
No,
go
it's not.
there is no de-evolution. Our human consciousness is expanding just as quick as the universe is. And so
Yes.
we
Yes.
we ha-
No, no,
we
no.
as
Just
a
keep going
we
back.
as human beings have not even defined
You're
what
gonna play
infinity
Monkey?
is. We don't know. No one's ever found infinity. Or like even the movie Toy Story, Infinity and Beyond with
Right.
Buzz.
Yep.
What is beyond infinity? We haven't even got to infinity, and we're already talking about beyond infinity. And so
Eternity.
eternity. But even these are just words that we kind of describe something of no real meaning for us. And
And
even even
we
even
haven't
like,
grasped that concept yet. I don't think. But a lot of population hasn't grasped the concept. But like you and me know what infinity is. It's ever, forever, and ever and ever.
well, for me, it's unlimited. That's what it
Right.
means. No condition. There is no limitation. And when you talk about love, what we talk about is unconditional love,
Exactly.
because
Universal and
love,
unconditional.
right? Well, the word is, see, universal is not an absolute word.
Right.
Unconditional means zero conditions.
Exactly.
Universal, other people are going to say what universal, it has different meanings to everybody. But
Right.
specifically, the word unconditional, it's not the word love. Because when you are unconditional, it's natural for us to love. That
Yes.
comes with being unconditional. There,
Exactly.
it's a perfection that we have. And God created us all perfectly, and that is
Exactly.
our human realization and self-actualization, is to come back and remember the gifts that God has bestowed upon us all of our lives. Even though you mentioned that sometimes life is hard, you go through emotional roller coaster rides with relationships especially, but when you go through those, it really reinforces. We are species that learn from the contrast. If we know
Yes.
what hate is, then we know what unconditional love is. And
Yes.
we don't know any other way of doing it. So we live in a polar world. In our human development, as we age and mature, is an understanding and a realization that we are dynamic and that we are perfect and that we were always perfect. In religion, we were taught that we were born into this world as sinners, and some of that stuff for me doesn't jive. You know,
Right.
that's the societal conditions that have been placed upon us, especially with religion.
Limitations, yes.
Yes, that's what it is all about. It's about limiting us. And the People's Reset is a new phenomenon for our human development, because now we become integrated into the oneness of life. And that is an experience that makes life a blessing. So every time you even experience some hardship, there's always a gratitude. There's always something that you benefit from, no matter how horrible it is. And there are, you know, there's good and evil in the world. There's always the positive and the negative. It's the unifying field of connecting both of those polar opposites and staying in the center. And in the
two-headed
center is
queen.
What?
The two-headed queen.
Yeah, the two-headed queen that you said. Yeah, we've been passing a back and forth some messages. That's why we're on this this podcast here today, because there's inspiration and encouragement. You know, with Jesse and the missing link specifically. That's our contact, and Jesse's an awesome person. You know, he's wonderful. And
I love Jesse, dude. He's awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually following a lot of the people that he has on his show. Like literally, right? Even during the show, I'll send a message to these people, and they're communicating with me. So it's actually we're sharing interviews and guests, special guests. I have some people that he doesn't know, and vice versa. So it's that integration, that unity, that really brings together. And also with your podcast now, the idea is to create a dynamic system, like a hub, like a portal, so that you know, your followers plus my followers plus Jesse's and on. Now you can really have a major impact around the world, and you can go viral with some of these messages. And so.
I'll get a hold of you guys. All right.
Looks like you guys have chemtrails up in the sky there. It looks like some chemtrails or something in the sky.
Yeah, there's always something going on around here, man. Like I got a good video clip of the chem spraying the other day. I was walking back from a friend's house I went and visited, and I seen up in the sky, it was actually going like it went up and then curved like a 90-degree almost. And I was like, you ever see a chemtrail do that? I've got old ones on my old channel, the one that got all messed up. I have video footage of chariots up in the sky in that on that channel.
Wow.
Yeah, like actual light, like I want to call them Merkabahs. You know what a Merkabah is?
I've never heard that term. No.
That's the energetic body that gets us through the folds in space time.
Okay.
It's like rumor has it, or Mandela effect says, there's multiple parallel universes that are all on the traveling on lines like this, right? Each one of my fingers is another timeline, and so they're traveling parallel to each other. And when 2012, one of the timelines collapsed by explosion or something, and like some of us figured out how to like Merkaba out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the Jewish faith has. They go Merkaba, and that's like instant transmission type ability. And like I don't think that they would say stuff like that and show us these hidden gems if there wasn't something behind it, you know, that we have to reach and work on to activate that within ourselves. And it's like it's two two dodecahedrons that are spinning opposite of each other. They're still flowing the same way. So it's like if you look at it, the way the toroidal field works, it
Yes.
goes, or from the top down. But both sides are going like that, and they're going opposite directions, but they're still going like this. So the other one would be going like this, that way, while that one's going this way, and they're both rotating opposite directions, but they're still going in the same flow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Mandela effect is something that I've been recently looking into. It's amazing. It's pretty fascinating.
Oh,
very
definitely
fascinating. Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm coming into my bedroom here. This is my office, so I'm just chilling. So a little bit with evolution is like there's I want to say a 7th root race coming out here at the beginning of this century, which was we probably already started seeing a lot of it coming out. It's the Aryans will be evolving into the next line of human genetics. They will carry the 7th strand, is what I understand. They will have the 7th strand activated, and like indigos, we come in with 6 strands activated. So like there's a big process that needs to go on in order for us to develop our inner parts. Like I'm lost for words. It's a lot. They call it the great works, I guess. And like we're supposed to be embedding this information into our DNA somehow. And by doing that, we will have these moments of spontaneous, energetic moments, right? Or we're fresh new energy will surge through our bodies and lift us up, right?
Yes.
It's about like a lot of it sounds like Kundalini.
Sure.
Or opening the tools. We have many chakra points within our bodies that require this this systematic, I guess, this process, I guess we can call it a process. It's a long process. Every 7 years, our cells shed and redevelop themselves. They replenish, basically, and at the end of the book or the end of the chapter, we're supposed to shed off and let go of all the things that don't serve us anymore while we step into making the new chapter for our life. And many, many seasons to come. And there's only a little bit of time left to go through these seasons. And these aren't like seasons as in autumn, winter, fall, and spring and summer. It's seasons of phases of life, more so. And by going through these challenges and the trials and tribulations that we go through is to teach us or to show us. Some of it's like to show us what we don't need, and the others are what we do need. Like you said, there's dark and light and everything. There's good and bad everywhere. And it's I like to take and look at the bad and then flip it and make something good come from it. I've used to been really, really good at that. And there's people, or I should say things, that get in our way sometimes.
Yeah.
That are meant to hinder us or. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, everything is perception. So it's all an illusion, really. Like you said, the Mandela effect is like whatever the reality, even right now, having this conversation, there's multiple other conversations we're having along with
deja vu, anyone?
this is only one projection of
Yes.
what we're trying to do here. And it's interesting because it opens the door for any possibility. If you can
Yes, exactly.
imagine it, Christopher, if you can imagine it, you can make it happen. That's
Well, look
what
at the
all the
picture in the
whole thing is.
background. That picture in the background is actually this right here. If you look up at the top right-hand corner, there's a small little picture of the same picture that we're looking at behind us. It's up in the top right-hand corner. There's the full view of that. You can see it's really small, but I did all the drawing myself. I made this logo also, Open Mind Productions logo, and I did this. I just made all these, and they're just different, logos to represent my company and open minds. There's a lot of things. Part with activations is we need them in order to evolve. If we don't work on activating and use the tools that we have to, to use them for what they're made for, basically. And I know that the harmonics, the natural harmonics, the notes or the keys, the keys, like the piano keys, the notes, it's natural harmonics, light, sound, frequency, and I believe color. So there's 5 elements that require to be utilized in conjunction to each other. So they all have to be used at the same time to penetrate deep enough and resonate to the mitochondrial DNA that will, aha,
Right.
ooh, that's what it is. When you're talking to somebody and you get those moments like, oh yeah, that's a small activation, but the big ones go, they really empower you. And I've had one of those. It was badass. It was like, oh, I'm trying not to say too bad of dirty words, but it was an experience I will never forget, and it was right in front of my face.
Right. Yeah, when you're talking about light, color, sound, vibration, and like you said, the 5 elements, what we try to teach is the origin. A lot of people don't know what 0 is. And here we are.
The
People
origin
say that we're in the
story
third.
is,
What did you just say?
I would say the origin story is very, very old. I don't really totally buy into the Adam and Eve story too much, just because the 13 clans and Adam and Eve didn't create 13 clans of all of us. Just I look at the geography of the planet and like the skin tones and the eyebrow. Like I have this Cro-Magnon eyebrow going on right here, which is a very intuitive species of human. And there's other ones. Like I'm not Cro-Magnon. I'm just saying I have part of the trait with the unibrow muscle right here that you can see very definite right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not talking about
thinking,
the origin of creation like in the Bible or something like that. I'm talking about 0, like the 0 point. Because people say that we're in the third dimension. Yeah, to go to the 0 point, the origin where everything began. At the Big Bang.
Yes.
Like the moment of the Big Bang.
Further than that. Yeah, further than that.
At that moment, there's a primordial sound and there's a primordial light. And what I ask a question to people, Christopher, what color do you get when you take all of the colors and you mix them together? What color do you get? What would your answer be?
I would say like a gray color.
It's
like
only gray
purple.
when you add black. If you add black as a color, which black is not a color, black is shade. No, if you add black, then you get gray or brown or some type of tone, like an earth tone. But if you take just the colors of the light spectrum from red in the lower chakra all the way up to your higher chakra with the violet. So If you take
Right.
all of those lights and you put them together, you get a pure white light. It's pure white. And that is the light that we teach people to become centered and become at origin, at your original, at the original creation. I'm not talking Adam and Eve type of stuff like that, like stories. I'm talking about mathematics and simply vibration tones and waves.
Right.
And so the light spectrum waves, when you put all of the lights together, you get a white, soft light. It's called a biophotonic light. And that is what we use here. Part of what we do on Evolution Island is that we train people for self. Yes. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you were talking and it was chopping up on you on purpose. I think you just right at that one moment. You were saying something very important, and the system kind of tried to blip you out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like made your signal choppy.
Like on purpose, like some interruption.
This is like, yeah, we're all watched, man. It's not nothing new.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to share basic facts of life. That's all I'm doing. Not trying to hurt anybody.
I know.
But what I'm trying to,
the powers to be don't like it, I guess.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that when it comes to primordial light and primordial sound, like for example, sound, most people don't realize the 3 vowels, A, O, and M. Not M is a vowel, but the 3 primordial sounds is ah, om. It's not om. It's ah, om. Om. And it starts in the lower chakra. Om. Om. And when it goes through your throat chakra, it vibrates and it comes out the top of your head. So when we try to teach people in self-healing, we teach the primordial our own, and also we have a system.
Resonates right in the center of the head.
Yeah, exactly. The third eye. It activates the third eye, and then the pineal gland is activated. But it's interesting, Christopher. We have a scientific research. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not moving.
It's fine. It's fine. It's not your fault.
Yeah. And so
it's not your fault.
We have a system here where we are able to stimulate the pineal gland in 20 seconds. In 20 seconds on your DNA and RNA strand, like when you're talking about the strands, the 5 strands, there's actually 12 strands to the DNA
and the ENA.
Yeah. And what is that?
Yeah, the ENA is actually older than DNA. It's like you see the movie how their skin was blue and they had the fiber optics coming out of the skin.
No, I never saw that.
Well, the original humans had this ENA, which was, I guess it was a blue skin, like when Egypt has the baby depicted on the hieroglyphs. It was actually they were more blue in color than they are dark brown. We were all at one point like those avatars, and James Cameron had it dang near spot on with that whole movie. It takes him 10 years to make one masterpiece. I have a lot of paperwork that I've printed out over the few years that I've been doing this. A lot of it has been destroyed or misplaced or lost in moves and all that. And this is the book I just released is all about what we're talking about now. And I haven't got it like publicly published yet. I mean, I have the PDF format of it, but I don't have the resources to distribute it as widely as I want to. So there's people that came on the show to give me a testimony when I did these, when I wrote the book. I got like 6 or 7, maybe eight testimonies. And all those people are getting a free copy. It's not something I'm trying to make a bunch of money on. It's more like volume 1 was what I've learned, and then in a little bit of what I've seen and been through. But then the second one is going to be like 10 levels to 20 levels higher knowledge than that first book.
Wow.
Like as we progress up the tier of, what's up?
I said that's evolution, like you said. You started out, and now you're going to infinity.
Yeah, I'm going through the roof, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Breaking through the ceiling. The glass ceiling is what we call it. Yeah.
Well, metaphorically, I guess, but the concept's there. It's the higher up you go, the challenges become harder. They're more hidden from you. Like, we figure out all the major pieces on the way up, but then there's these big, huge clues left at the end that we've maybe failed to grab the last time around or something, So the ancestors left us clues to this process. Like one of them is the Toltec's Four Agreements book. It's really easy. It's by what's his name? Ruiz. Miguel. Miguel Ruiz. I can't remember his first name. He wrote the Four Agreements from the be impeccable with your words. Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. Right? And all those four agreements will help us all eliminate that doesn't serve us anymore. It's a lot easier when we use those four agreements, because that is pretty much like the base structure of, letting go of false and grabbing on to the truth, and while we grow up in our lives, we go through these moments where we are basically, it's drilled into our heads to think or be this certain way, and then we grow up and we become adults, and that stuff no longer makes sense. So why would we do it that way? Hello, Marin. How are you today?
Hi, Marion.
Marin's a really good friend of mine. She lives in Adelaide, Australia. She's a very, very involved. That's a good word. Involved. She's involved very much with being a child of God, and she's been there for me a lot during my struggle.
Excellent. Well, I don't know if she has any questions or if she wants to join in. Does she usually join in the conversation?
She can come on, yeah. Here, let me
yeah.
I can post the link right into the chat. So there's the StreamYard link going in right about now. And there it is. I'll put it up on the screen. It's not going to let me. Does that link show up in the chat?
I don't see anything on my end here. But I'm on a phone. I'm not on a computer system, so. Yeah, you're back.
I don't know what happened there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. Yes, loud and clear. Would Marin like to come on the show right now and give some insights? I know it's like a 10-second delay from us talking and them hearing it. So
Is she in Australia? Did you say?
I'm sorry about that. Every time I window out, it boots me off. I shared the link to Marin's messenger.
Okay, that's
her
fine.
Facebook messenger.
Yeah, if she wants to chime in, she can. We'll just continue the conversation a little bit more. Right now, we're on like 42 minutes or so. So
Yeah.
maybe we can. I do have a couple more calls this afternoon. I'm actually working on a very interesting project in Sierra Leone, Africa. I don't know if you know Sierra Leone.
I've heard of it.
It's a real interesting place right now. A lot of people, especially in Africa, are really hurting very badly right now. Not that they haven't been in the past, but things are just really, people are starving like again. And the food cost is out through the roof. I know that in the United States, like inflation, I've been hearing just to go to the supermarket is like incredibly expensive.
And in New York,
you can imagine.
There's some places, certain grocery stores in New York are making people pay with their palm. There she is.
Really?
Hey, Marin.
Yeah, hello, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, so the mark of the beast is already being integrated by the palm in certain supermarkets in New York. There's a Mike.
Yeah, I heard about New York.
Yeah, there's a guy named Mike that's street minister over there. And there was one of, do you feel tired and fatigued and out of energy, all sleepy? There's a reason for this. And it's, she goes into that, and then he says, well, there's something called archons that attach themselves to us. They're etherical. They're not undead. They're actual living, breathing, etherical beings, and we can't see them because they're beyond the light spectrum that we can see.
Right.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, it makes sense. Absolutely. And Marion, want to say something?
Yeah, but I've heard this talk about this. It's interdimensional creatures.
Yes.
That's right. So we were talking today, Marion, about evolution, human consciousness and evolution. It's a pretty broad subject. Are you in Australia? Are you calling from? Okay,
yes,
great.
I am. And guess what?
We're talking to the future.
Your cousin.
Yes, ma'am.
Your cousin John is now got his own Facebook account.
Okay. It's John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., by the way.
I sent you a link to sent you the post to your Messenger account earlier.
I saw that.
Okay. Good. Now you get the impression that John and Robin are together.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes, there is a God. There is a Santa
Yes,
Claus.
there is. And Santa Claus too. That's right.
I'm in the lolly shop this week. I've had some good news. John Voight is back at work. He's just put out another movie, part of a movie that he was in called The Painter.
Okay.
It looks interesting.
I haven't seen it yet, but I will look into it. It's called The Painter.
I got a clip of it off a roll off YouTube the other day
Okay.
of all the movies that are coming out. I don't know if The Painter's been released yet or not. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to assume that it has or hasn't. But I've got to look it up.
Right.
But that's just part of the good news, you know?
Yeah, it's good news.
We like good news.
And then, yes, I am a kid in a lolly shop at the moment, you know, and getting up. It's been like when I saw this 2 days ago, 2.5. I was like a kid in a lolly shop. Seriously, it was such a really good, successful day too. I was just stoked from the time I got up.
Have you seen that? The Sound of Freedom?
Yes, I have. I walked out of there in tears.
Have you
I thought I
seen?
was tough, but no,
Have you seen the world? Leave the World Behind yet?
not yet. I don't know if I want
I
to.
haven't.
They're both on Netflix.
Yeah,
Did you see?
I hear.
Did you see? Don't look up. Don't look up. Don't look
No, I
up.
didn't see that. No, I didn't see
You
that
didn't
one.
see it with Caprio, Leonardo
Oh,
DiCaprio.
okay.
Don't look up. It was in it. That was an interesting movie. It ended awful.
Oh,
Obviously the world ended. So
by the way, what's his name again? The guy that's on that event that's coming. I keep forgetting his name. He's a well-known actor.
Hmm.
It's on
Name
your
of
messenger account. I've written a message to you about all the actors.
Gary Sinise. There's Morgan Freeman, Kevin Costner.
No, the other one.
Matthew McConaughey.
Keanu Reeves.
No.
Johnny Depp.
No.
The other one was the other guy was not Jack Nicholson, but what was his name? Jesus criminy.
He sent me a message yesterday.
Oh really?
Yeah, through his fan page. I didn't know what to say for a few hours. Kind of stumped, and then I reread one of his posts. It may be fake, but I wrote a short thing on. I know about his background, his history, yada yada yada. I said, I know where it was coming from, and yeah, it's quite the write up.
Clint Eastwood.
No. God, I haven't even written it down. Oh. Oh, wait. I'm out. Can't remember the name.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name.
I accidentally windowed out.
It's on your messenger account anyway. In the conversation,
I'll have to look at it.
Everyone I've written knows.
Anyways, what you were bringing those guys up for? I know you have a.
They are the guys that bring to the table.
Yeah, we should recruit them. She's saying. Have
All of
them on
them
the
have got
show
a couple
or
of things
on the
in.
team.
They've all got something in common. It's called, that none of them are in trouble. They've all got a face, and they've all been to a dark place and come back, and they've all reinvented themselves.
Yeah, I don't believe all the celebrities are involved in this huge, disgusting trafficking thing that's going on. All we can do is just activate and evolve beyond them.
I believe that God gave me guidance on these guys. It was like it was just in front of my face.
Yep.
And I've gone, all these guys have got something to bring to the table. And there may be someone else I might be able to help from this family who's in the same sort of industry that Kevin Costner was in. Inventing that mop and cleaning up spills. Okay, like I said, when we were talking about this earlier, I said, I've been mentioning names when I bring this up today. But yeah, great. We're going to get this off the ground because I'm terrified, mate. I'm going to let you in a little secret. I am terrified.
That would be. What is it? Who's putting that up there?
Mate.
Oh, you put that up there? Oh. Oh yeah, you're admin to the group. That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm terrified for my planet, and I've got extended family in the Pleiades system. I owe something to them for what they did for me back when I was 7.
Yeah.
I've got to look out for my extended family.
Absolutely.
Okay? It sounds like I'm getting emotional and I shouldn't be, but I should be at the same time.
It's perfectly fine. This show ain't going to judge you. You know that.
I'm trying to stay cool, calm, and rational so we get this project off the ground as soon as we can. And save our planet, we save a few other systems along with it.
We need warriors and healers.
We've got to stop this nonsense the world is coming to right now. We need Trump back in. I know I don't trust him, but he can caretake until John's well enough to,
Well, we need to uphold the constitutional right that we have to fire the officials that are no longer serving us of our better potentials and rehire the ones that we need in there, like it says that we have the power to do so.
I also hear Texas and California talking about seceding from the rest of the country.
Really?
But they're not going to go into civil war because people are talking about not going to civil war like Biden is expecting. People will unite.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
We've been doing that for years now. And they keep throwing those fear porn things out there to scare everybody, because what's the one thing that brings us down and severs that connection quicker than anything is fear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what we say, Christopher, is that there's only one choice that you have in life, either to live in unconditional love or to live in fear. That's the only choice.
Dennis Quaid said something similar.
Yeah.
Yep. Louis Gossett Jr.
Good memory.
I finally got it. I'm just tired.
There you go.
I have to ask you guys a quick question. When you signed into the StreamYard, did you select your own platforms to stream to?
No, I didn't.
You should have a destination spot where you can select the destination you want your part of the stream to be streamed to. You can set your own destinations on top of where I'm going with mine.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
well, my Facebook, I'm limiting to my friends only at this stage,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna cut it down to about probably 5 people. The rest of them,
The
yeah.
favorite 5. The favorite 5. That's all you need is favorite 5.
Yep.
You
It's
don't
my
need a
grandfather's
lot of
The
people.
legacy.
Fabulous Four, the Fantastic Four, and the Fabulous Five. Yep.
Yeah,
It's my grandfather's
exactly.
legacy. He had a handful of friends, and that was it.
If
That's
you
all you
have
need.
one friend,
So,
you're gifted. That's really the truth.
Oh
Just
yeah.
one, and then
Yeah.
build from there, and then build from there. But
I have a hard
uh,
time making friends because I'm convinced that we're different breeds of humans. We are different. We are totally different than the rest of them. You know, and it's easy to see by the compassion that we hold in our hearts. You know,
yeah.
and the love that we show each other. It's platonic love, but still it's an unconditional love at the same time because we're not out here pointing fingers. You know, we're just trying to find out the pieces that fit together.
that's right. The missing link. That's what Jesse's promoting.
Yep.
He's doing a good job. He's doing a good job.
And I'm promoting conscious wisdom, so
That's the missing link.
yep, one of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I've spoken to Vic Macroff
Yeah,
about trying to bring everyone together. And every one of you has got to put aside whatever your weapons and hang ups are with one another.
right. I know.
World
I'm
needs
not.
us
I'm
to
not mad
unite.
anymore about that stuff. It's that was that was so childish of that whole thing. So I will admit it. Um,
Okay, cool, great.
I don't stay mad at people very long, and you know I have to stress the fact that we shouldn't have to be educating adults either because adults should know better. In common sense, you know, common sense says an adult should be wise and know better than to do the things that we are doing. You know, if coming up off of somebody else or putting somebody else down and then calling yourself holy or a light worker, but you're judging other people, that's not a light worker.
Mm.
yeah.
You know,
And the thing
it's
is,
Yeah.
our world is in jeopardy.
yes, it is
This
very
current
much so.
event, we have got to put down our goddamn weapons.
I'm hoping that I can start my invention soon, which is free energy, but at the same time, it's a plasma generator also, which would act as a shield. And I don't want to
That
give
will
this
help.
too. I don't want to give too much away because I know it'll get stolen from me.
No, don't,
But
and
I'm gonna have to
don't get
make the prototype first and see if it works.
don't don't get it patented. Whatever you do, you know what happened to Tesla and
Yep.
others.
Well, my stepdad told me a good idea. He said that we should, when we make inventions, we should patent each piece separately and then put it together. So it's like every little piece is patented, but they don't know what it's getting built for. You know, there's just a little clue, I guess.
It's like putting a puzzle
Mhm.
together.
Yeah,
It's every piece. You don't know what the puzzle looks like until you put the last piece into place. You
exactly.
know, and it can be complicated. Yeah, we have several inventions also, but what we're doing here is not a big secret. We're actually taking a different approach, and I'm disclosing everything. You talk about the like a free unlimited energy source and also a plasma field. That's exactly what we're doing. We're creating
Really?
a portal, 5D portal, in a crystalline grid, and
Okay.
so within that grid we have power through radio frequencies, quantum radio frequency, and so we have the ability to have this energy now. We don't need any more inventions. We're not trying to make
turn the
it a
tower
big.
on.
Excuse me.
The Tesla Tower in, what is it, on Staten Island or something? They should just let that be used.
Well, the sacred sites all over the world, Christopher, have these antennas on the buildings.
Yeah.
All of these buildings, even the churches, like these historic churches, were built many, many, many years ago, not by the church. They were built by extraterrestrial intelligence. And so each of these buildings have,
that we're hybrids.
Yeah, we are hybrid.
Actually, absolutely. Yeah, I ask people a question: are you human?
Dick and I were talking about this earlier.
Yeah. Everyone says, yes, I'm human.
Hybrid giants.
We're all monsters.
They were hybrids, but they weren't.
Well, the etymology of human means monster.
They were just people who were extra tall, but they were hybrids.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're evolving.
It's like Daniel,
Christopher.
Daniel and Goliath. Daniel and Goliath were brothers, apparently.
We're brothers and sisters. We're all connected. We're all one.
Yep.
They were actually brothers. David and Goliath were actually brothers. They were just had it out with one another. That's another interesting story.
That is an interesting story.
Absolutely.
What you were saying, David?
Well, I was going to say, I apologize, but I'm going to have to cut off here a little bit. We're on an hour.
That's okay.
Yeah, we're at an hour.
I'm going to have to run. It was a very good conversation that we had. You know, it's something that evolution we're going to talk about forever, because we're going to always grow. We're always going to learn something new and something exciting. And keep posting. I'm going to follow, especially the Missing Link. That group is a good group, and there's a lot of great information that people are exchanging. And that particular group is one of the best that I'm involved with right now. So let's stay in touch. And for everyone listening, if anyone listening to this, thank you for your attention and your time. And I just want to thank you, Christopher, again, and Marianne. Nice to meet you. And hopefully we can continue the conversation. And everything's wonderful. We're doing it. We're making the shift. We're in it. It's already happening.
So we're going to get this project off the ground, hey? Finally.
Yeah.
Namaste to everybody.
Namaste.
I will let you know what I find out today. I will let you know through Chris what I find out today.
Okay.
From someone. And see if he can give us a hand as well, because we get this project off the ground. It's not just a project. This is to save our universe.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe there's still a way we can reverse this fall mode that we've been entering into, if we can all just find the common ground that we can all agree on. And the common enemy to humanity is, the blatant ones that are running the show. I'm not afraid of them.
I'm putting all those toxins into our oceans.
Yeah.
The pollution. We've got to get mopped up and stopped.
Yep.
Okay, guys, I'm signing off. Thank you so much again. Okay.
It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you, Marianne. Thank you so much.
Marianne.
We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, David. We'll have you back.
Nice.
That was interesting. I like that guy. He was really cool. So,
Yeah, it's happening.
I will call you back here in a minute. I'm going to end the show, and then we'll get back on a video call, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and showing up for Cognizant Sapiens' first show in a long time. I feel good about it. Feel free to reach out to me, myself, or Marin here, and we look forward to having more guests coming on the show and speaking their truths and helping us put this puzzle together and get this project off the ground that we're trying to establish here with good foothold. And until next time, I bid thee farewell. I love y'all, and namaste to you all. Have a great day.
Namaste.
Namaste.